today's mission is to find some black walnuts. I'm going back to a tree that I already found with a bag, and I'm gonna make some fabric dye and an ink. My first walnut. So these are the fibers that I'm gonna dye in the dye, assuming all goes well. I have a little tiny ball of yarn. Then I have this piece of silk, which was attempted to be rust dyed in a natural dye workshop, and it didn't really dye the fabric. And then I'm gonna dye like one bandana strip of cotton. I have a separate pot that I don't cook with, that I use just for dye and ink making, just in case there's something toxic, such as black walnuts, that I don't want to poison myself with. They smell really nice, actually. Okay, so that's all my walnuts. Some of them were green, some of them are absolutely disgusting. And now I'm gonna fill it with water. The walnut hulls are in the water, simmering the pot, and it's not quite simmering, it's just warm. It looks like this. So it's the next morning and the dye is ready, but I need to figure out how to strain the hulls out of the liquid. And I don't really know how I'm gonna do this because I don't have another big pot to put the liquid in. This is what the liquid looks like. So I found a big bowl, but it's a nice one. So I've lined it with a trash bag, which hopefully doesn't leak. And I'm gonna pour the liquid into the bowl. I'm going to use this like cheap craft bandana, it's cotton, to filter out gunk, I guess. I'm a little worried that there's not enough room. Uh-oh. Emptied into the trash. That's what that looks like. Gonna go give this a rinse. There's lots of sediment in the pot, so I'm gonna rinse that out. Oh, please tell me this is going fine. See, I caught some sediment. The stove is on medium heat. I'm gonna let it get up to a simmer, put it on low. Then once it's kind of hot, not bubbling, I'm gonna put in my wool and silk, my silk, yeah. Technically you're supposed to scour your fabrics. I have scoured. I'm gonna put quite a bit of dish soap. I've got some cotton. Lastly, the silk. I don't know if you're supposed to scour silk. I'm just gonna let that sit for like an hour on low. It's going in the pot. I let the fabric dye simmering on the stove for several hours yesterday. It looks very dark. It even dyed my spoon. And I'm ready to take it out and see what all the fabric looks like. I want to start with the cotton. It's beautiful, dark brown. I don't know if it's as intense as I thought it would be. Here's my yarn. Oh my god, that looks gorgeous. I hope this shows up on camera, but it's a warm chocolatey brown, and I'm very excited to see how this dries. Okay. and finally, the one I'm most excited for, the silk. Okay, so now we're gonna rinse out the fibers until the water runs clear. Everything hung up on the drying rack. So here's the cotton. I see a couple of splotches where the color dyed unevenly. But then this is the smaller swatch. Much more even of a dye. Maybe that's because I scoured it. Wool. It is a very warm, chocolatey color. Super rich and deep color. Maybe I'll make a little scrunchie out of this. I heard that silk is good for your hair, so. All of the things that I dyed with walnut are now dry. Here's the silk. My maybe less favorite is this piece of cotton. It didn't dye as vibrantly, it's a bit ashier. Then I have my yarn. This is a pure wool, and again, this is a very warm brown, very vibrant, very nice color. Super happy with this. And finally, I have a piece of cloth that I dipped in my pot of ink because it was so thick that not all of it poured out. So I have this piece of cotton. So when it came out of the dye bath, it looked like this, and then when I put it in the ink, it turned very dark. Now this is very stiff because there was the gum arabic in the ink, and it made it a little starched. Very, very happy with this. These are the results. There's a lovely range. I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased. Yeah. Okay, maybe this will be my thumbnail. So now for the second half of this video, I am gonna make ink. I've put the dye back on the stove. I've turned it up to medium heat. I'm noticing that from the scouring process, there's a bit of soap in the water, and I'm hoping that does not make a difference in the quality of the ink. But basically, I'm just gonna try and reduce the dye, distill it down into a concentrated form, and yeah, I'll check back in a couple hours. Okay, it's a couple hours later. Let's see. This is how far the spoon goes in. It's very shallow. It's pretty dark, but I kind of want to keep it going until it's thicker. But look at how it dyes the spoon. It's just amazing, really. It's the nighttime and the ink has been simmering on and off while I've been home throughout the day. I turn off the stove when I go leave the house. I come back, turn it on for a little bit. So it's just been evaporating at different speeds and increments throughout the day. And now I'm calling it done. It's very thick. I'm gonna show it to you. So here's how far down it's gotten into the pot. It's very thick. Look at how slowly that moves. There is soap that got into it from my fabric. So if you don't use fabric, it will not do that. Wow, look at that. I'm gonna pour it into this pickle jar. Honestly, it smells a little bit chocolatey also. Now, in order to thicken the ink, I'm going to use gum arabic. This I have never used before. It's the only thing that I spent money on for this project. I spent €7.50 at my art store. So in total, this project cost me €7.50. I don't know how much to use, so I'm gonna go for like maybe a teaspoon. Oh, it's like resin. The liquid is still pretty hot, so I think it will dissolve. I'm gonna use a paintbrush to just like mix. That is not dissolving. Because I had some issues dissolving the gum arabic, I'm going to use this piece of cloth that I dyed previously with the walnut, and I'm going to use it as a filter. I fear I may have thickened the ink too much. So because walnut is a natural material, it will rot and mold. So I'm gonna be adding a little bit of rubbing alcohol. This is 70%. I got it at my grocery store. And I'm gonna be adding a bit to my pot because there's some ink at the bottom that didn't pour out. So I'm gonna be loosening it up with some rubbing alcohol. Ooh. Here's the color of my rag. Here's my ink. It smells kind of alcohol-y. I just wanted to end this video by sharing a painting that I made out of the ink. It works great. It behaves like any other store-bought ink or like a watercolor that comes in the tube. It works fantastic. I'm very pleased with how I've been able to get a different range of darknesses and opacity. It's great. It's fun to work with. Highly recommend the ink. Let me know if you enjoyed this video by leaving a like or subscribing to the channel, even better. Let me know if you decide to try and make ink or dye. Let me know if you have any advices on how to do this better. Let me know if you have any video ideas of things that you would want to watch in the future, because I'm just starting my channel and I'm interested in what people would want to watch. So thank you if you made it this far, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until next time, bye!